Hugo Bachega there. The French President Emmanuel Macron has told the BBC that Israel must stop killing babies, women and the elderly in Gaza. In an interview at the Elysee Palace, he said Israel had the right to respond to Hamas's attack, but warned that the country could not fight terrorism by killing innocent civilians. He's been speaking to our Europe editor, Katya Adler.
We clearly condemn this terrorist attack and this terrorist group and recognize the right of Israel to protect itself and react. But day one, we say that this reaction and the fight against terrorism, because it is led by a democracy, should be compliant with international rules, rule of war and humanitarian international law. And day after day, what we saw is a permanent bombing of civilians in Gaza. We worked very hard to try to protect people, our people there, because we lost more than 40 French nationals, and we still have hostages. And when I speak about that, first I think about our families. But what happened during the past weeks is that we clearly saw that a lot of civilians were killed, and there is no justification for that. And the clear conclusion of everybody yesterday during the humanitarian conference, from United Nations to NGOs to all the governments being present, is that there is no other solution than first a humanitarian pause going to a ceasefire, which will allow to protect these people, to take care of people being in hospitals, and to protect babies, ladies, old people, all the civilians having nothing to deal with these terrorists. And I think it's very important to say the whole story, but I think this is the only solution we have, this ceasefire, because it's impossible to explain we want to fight against terrorism by killing innocent people.
As you say, President Macron, you've been very clear right from the beginning about Israel's right to defend itself. You've talked about the fight against terrorism needing to be merciless, is the word you used, but not without rules. And you've just referred there to the high loss of civilian life in Gaza. You've got the United Nations Secretary General saying Gaza's turning into a graveyard for children. Do you think Israel is respecting those rules, the international rules that you're referring to?
Look, in the very first days, it's clear that the emotion, the compassion, created a situation where everybody was just close to Israel and backing them and sharing the pain. And we do share the pain, and we do share the willingness to get rid of terrorism. We know what terrorism means in France. But I think there is no justification precisely to attack civilians. There is no justification to make a distinction between the different lives. Palestinian lives do matter. And very clearly today, these humanitarian rules are not properly respected.
President Macron there speaking to the BBC's Katya Adler. Let's take you to